So let's finish our last problem to review chapter 12. So suppose we're in a perfectly competitive industry. All potential firms are identical with the following. Their total cost is represented by 6q squared plus 2q plus 96, and their marginal cost is equal to 12q plus 2. Remember, little q is for a single firm, and big Q represents the whole market. Okay? So first it asks, find the variable cost, fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost for each firm. Then we want to determine what's the shutdown price and what's the break-even price. So first consider total cost, which is equal to 6q squared plus 2q plus 96. The part with the variable is the variable cost, and the non-variable is the fixed cost. Easy enough. Then let's get average variable cost, which is just variable cost over little q. So you get 6q plus 2. And then average total cost is equal to total cost over little q. And you get 6q plus 2 plus 96 over q. So we found the 4 things we were asked. Now I want to know what's the shutdown price. Well, the shutdown price, so I'll label PSD, is equal to the minimum average variable cost. Well, we're really just taking the minimum of 6q plus 2. Well, the smallest value for this is q equal to 0, giving us an average variable cost of 2. So $2 is our shutdown price. Then to get the break-even price, what we're going to do is take the minimum of the average total cost. But to find that, if you don't know calculus, the marginal cost will always intersect the average total cost at its lowest point. So marginal cost is 12q plus 2, and that's equal to 6q plus 2 plus 96 over q. To solve this, you do some algebra, and you would get that q is equal to 4 units. And then plug the 4 into the average total cost to get $50. And so that's our break-even price. Next, we're given that the market demand is P is equal to 114 minus Q. The market supply is P is equal to 6Q plus 2. What we want to do is find equilibrium price, the total quantity in the market, the quantity produced by a single firm, and then part C is finding profits, off of each from part B. And this is going to represent the short run. So Let's set that up. So first what we need to do, I'm just going to put B and C, is set demand equal to supply, and you get 114 minus Q is equal to 6Q plus 2. If you solve this for capital Q, get Q is equal to 16 units. And then plug this in, and you get P is equal to $98. So far we have the total amount of units in the market, the price being offered. So now what we want to do is find little q. Because remember, the number of firms is big Q over little q. So how could we just do that? Well, we can set the marginal cost equal to 98. Because remember, marginal cost has to equal price. So 12Q plus 2 is equal to 98. And you get that little q is equal to 8 units. So then the number of firms is going to be 16 over 8, which gives us 2. 2 firms in the short run. And then we can get profit. Because now that we have everything, since all firms are identical, they'll have the same profit. So 98 times 8, that's our total revenue, minus 6 times 8 squared plus 2 times 8 plus 96. That's our total cost. And you should get $160 in profit. So now we want to do is find the equilibrium in the long run. And so we want to know what is the price, quantity consumed, how many firms will be in the long run, and what's the profit from each firm. Since we're talking about the long run, the important thing to note is that in the long run, profit is equal to 0. And this means that no firm is doing better than any other firm in the perfectly competitive market. So remember, in the long run, marginal cost is equal to average total cost, because there are no fixed costs. And we get from an earlier calculation that price in this market is going to be 50. Given that, we can take our quantity demand, plug in the 50, get 64 units. So then we want little q, so set MC equal to 50, so 12Q plus 2 equals 50, and you get little q's 4 units. So then in the long run, since there is total of 64 units and each firm is producing 4, then there has to be 16 firms. And so that is the difference between the long run and the short run. So good luck on your midterm, and I will see you all soon.